The movie opens on a churning sea. A ferry cuts through fog toward Shutter Island, a grim asylum for the criminally insane that sits like a rock in Boston Harbor. U.S. Marshal Edward Teddy Daniels steps off the boat with his new partner, Chuck All, sent to investigate the disappearance of patient Rachel Solando. Right away, the island feels wrong. High stone walls, sterile corridors, and staff who smile a little too calmly. Teddy is a hard-eyed veteran with a haunted face. He smells something rotten under the varnish, and honestly, so do we. The official story is simple. Rachel Solando vanished from a locked room. Her handwriting shows paranoid aquatic obsessions, and the hospital's head, Dr. John Cawley, claims she's gone. Teddy and Chuck begin to poke at the seams. They interview staff and patients, walk cold hallways, and meet odd characters. A gaunt patient who mutters about lights underwater, other inmates who speak in riddles, and a sad-eyed man named Andrew Ladis, who's kept under layers of restraint. Teddy is convinced something illegal is happening. Secret lobotomies, psychotropic experiments, maybe even a cover-up involving the lighthouse they aren't supposed to enter. He's also running from his own past. He keeps dreaming of Dolores, his wife, a woman whose face appears in nightmares like a match thrown into oil. Dolores was burned into his memory, her screams the echo that trembles under every scene. At first, the investigation plays like a noir, a missing person, locked doors, an institution with 1,000 small evasions. Teddy interviews the staff, including the patient charts-heavy Dr. Cawley, who answers questions in calm, erudite sentences that radiate a certain sympathy and calculation. Cawley insists the hospital is a humane place, that they do not perform the highest violence Teddy fears. He speaks about treating the monstrous by isolating it, naming methods, and even suggesting that sometimes storytelling is part of therapy. Teddy is skeptical. He sees Cawley's eloquence as the lubricant of secrets. The deeper Teddy digs, the stranger the island seems. He and Chuck find discrepancies in records and patients who might be more or less lucid than they appear. There are locked wings, ominous warning signs, and a lighthouse everyone acts like is off-limits for reasons no one will clearly explain. Teddy thinks the lighthouse is the heart of something sinister. He keeps having migraines and flashbacks, the liberation of a concentration camp in World War II, burning towns, and the image of Dolores, sedated, then frantic. Sometimes the line between past and present blurs. Teddy will be standing in a ward, and suddenly he's watching flames. It's obvious he's not just chasing a missing woman, he's chasing peace with whatever is stalking him from inside his skull. Along the way, Teddy meets George Noyce, an inmate who gives him a wink and a warning. You can't trust them, George says, suggesting that the island keeps people inside by playing with their heads. George disappears in a way that chills Teddy more than the locks ever do. He becomes a tragic clue that something runs deeper than a runaway patient. Teddy also finds a hidden journal, notes written in a childlike hand about the sea, about transcendence, and about drowning, which push him toward a conclusion that Rachel's disappearance isn't just a shuffling of beds, but tied to something the hospital's management wants left unprobed. As Teddy's suspicions grow, he also starts to suspect that his partner Chuck isn't telling every truth. Chuck is calm and steady, and he seems to know more than he lets on. There's a small, off-kilter moment in which Chuck's responses are just a hair too practiced. Teddy begins to see patterns where others see only routine. He learns bits about the asylum's past, that lobotomies happened here, that radical treatments have been used in the name of cure, and that some patients were hidden away, their histories erased or rewritten. Teddy's temperament, a mixture of dogged intellect and a raw desire to punish wrongdoing, pushes him to puncture the skepticism of the staff, until they, of course, begin to pressure him back. The film layers in Teddy's backstory slowly, the way fog reveals a shoreline. He's a veteran who witnessed the worst of humanity at Dachau. He's haunted by those memories. He confesses to Chuck that he has a second, private grievance. He wants to find the man who burned his wife, the arsonist who drove her mad. That man, he believes, is on the island. The combination of professional duty and personal vendetta gives him a single-mindedness that's simultaneously sympathetic and alarming. Teddy's investigative trail takes him to the lighthouse at last, in a sequence thick with weather and dread. There, he expects to find the administrative fulcrum of the hospital's crimes. Instead, he discovers a room that doesn't match his theories at all, clinical, bright, and occupied by the men who pull the strings, Dr. John Cawley and Dr. Jeremiah Nayring, calm and articulate, who, in a scene that looks like the last act of a play, gently dismantle Teddy's identity. They present him with records. Names like Andrew Ladis stare back at him in black and white. He's surprised to learn that the missing patient, Rachel Solando, is not a mystery victim, but a creation of his own fractured cognition, part of a constructed narrative that has, for months, replaced memory in order to protect him. His whole investigation, the manhunt, the clues, the dark conspiracies, had been, in part, a living therapy staged by the hospital staff to coax Andrew out of a delusional identity and back to reality. Chuck, it is revealed, is actually Dr. John Sheehan, his primary psychiatrist, acting